can be said that our world has changed dramatically over the last few months. The novel coronavirus pandemic has resulted in unimaginable loss to the global economy, and the loss of human lives have been unprecedented in an era of global peace. Not only are the numbers alarming, but the speed at which the challenges have emerged is intimidating. Governments and health professionals are constantly calibrating the response to this pandemic, and frequent strategic adjustments are being done. There has been many news articles saying that most commodity prices will drop substantially in 2020. So let us see about these things in this video. The pandemic has affected both demand for and supply of commodities. Those effects are direct, resulting from shutdowns to mitigate the spread of the virus and disruptions to supply chains, and also indirect as the global response slows growth and leads to what is anticipated to be the deepest global recession in decades. The pandemic has the potential to lead to permanent changes in the demand and supply of commodities, and especially to the supply chains that move those commodities from producers to consumers around the world. The effects have already been dramatic, particularly for commodities related to transportation. Oil prices have plunged since January, and prices reached an historic low in April, with some benchmarks trading at negative values. Declines reflect a sharp drop in demand. Oil prices are expected to average $35 per barrel in 2020, a sharp downward revision from the October forecast and a 43% drop from the 2019 average of $61 per barrel. Prices for natural rubber and platinum, both heavily used by the transportation industry, have also tumbled. Recent efforts by the Organization of the Petroleum Exporters and other oil producers to cut production in response to the plunge in demand will ease some of the pressure on oil markets. However, over the long run, the current arrangement, to the extent it supports prices, will be subjected to the same forces, the emergence of new producers as well as substitution and efficiency gains that led to the collapse of previous OPEC arrangements and other commodity pacts. The metal prices overall are expected to fall this year. Gold prices on the other hand have risen. Gold, due to its almost steady character as compared to currency, holds significant value and is used to hedge inflation. This is why investors prefer to hold gold rather than currency. As a result, when the inflation is high, the demand for gold increases, and when the inflation is low, the demand for gold decreases. The price of gold will then shoot up as a result of high demand from customers. Any global movement in the price of gold affects the price of the yellow metal in India. This majorly derives from the fact that India is one of the largest importers of gold, and as such, when the import prices changes due to global movement in price, the same is subsequently reflected in the prices of gold at home. Since the value of currency as well as various financial products may fall during any political upheaval, gold is seen as a safe haven by investors, and as such, the demand and price of gold rise in times of political chaos as compared to peaceful times. Central banks of most major countries hold both currency as well as gold reserves. When central banks of large countries start holding gold reserves and procuring more gold, the price of gold goes up. This is because the flow of cash in the market is increased with the supply of gold goes down. Interest rates on financial markets and services are tied closely with the demand for gold. Current gold prices are generally good indicators of interest rate trends of any country. With increased rates of interest, customers tend to sell gold to acquire cash, and as such, an increased supply of gold leads to reduced rates of metal. Alternatively, lower interest rates translate to more cash in the hands of customers, and as such, greater demand of gold and thereby increased prices of the metal. Overall, global agricultural prices are expected to remain broadly stable in 2020 as production levels and stocks of most staple foods are at record high. The impact of the COVID-19 pandemic on commodity markets more broadly may result in long-term changes. Transport costs may be higher due to additional border crossing requirements. Higher trade costs will in particular affect agricultural and food commodities and textiles. Importers and exporters of commodities are likely to see long-term shift in their markets due to the pandemic. For instance, people may choose to work remotely, travel less, and this could result in permanent jobs in demand for oil, favorably impacting the current accounts for oil exporters. The break in emissions caused by the restrictions may also increase public pressure for greener transport and lowered fossil fuel use. the upcoming video, we will be seeing about targeted economic policies. If you like this video, subscribe to the channel. Thank you.